Yazan, a 50-year student from the College of Medicine, University of Sharjah. Today, we're going to discuss the vaccination schedule in the UAE and its guidelines as of year 2023. We're going to talk about the compulsory vaccines, because optional vaccines do exist. For the sake of this video, we're going to go over the compulsory ones and to hopefully learn the pattern of the vaccines and to be able to recall them or learn how to recall them for the long run. So this is a schedule of how it looks like. We have multiple vaccines that are given since being born till grade 11. And there are multiple vaccines and also multiple combinations that we're going to go over, multiple types also. As you can see, it's acellular and whole. You can see also multiple different frequencies for some vaccines. So this is only given once, the BCG. It's only given twice, such as the varicella. It's only given multiple times, such as the diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. And we're going to discuss them in the next few slides. These are some key features that we're going to go over now, and hopefully revisit after we go over each time. So after we go over them, we're going to check how these patterns are present. So you can see that the vaccines at 2 months and 4 months are the same. So you can see also they are symmetrical with the highlights of green color. And only 2 vaccines are given at birth and at 1 year or 12 months. You can see there's only 2 here, 2 here. So this will help us in remembering that at 1 year we should give this vaccine, and also at birth we should give this vaccine. And only varicella is given twice. Although I typed here as rotavirus vaccine, it's underlined because for rotavirus vaccine we have different types. We have vaccine called Rotarix given twice, 2 months and 4 months. We have also Rotatec given 3 times. So remember tech for 3 times or 3, so 2, 4, and 6 months. So these do exist in the UAE, and generally for the guidelines they're referring to the Rotarix because it's given twice, as you can see here, these two. But if a person wants to take Rotatec or did take Rotatec and wants to continue it, or should continue it, then it would be 2, 4, and 6. So that's why it's underlined here because of the type. But for varicella it's twice, as you can see here. And for PCV and Hep B, we're going to discuss them in the next few slides. These are given during the first 6 months, so just given from 1 year and onwards. So this can help us remember that these are given in the beginning of life. Vaccines for diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis are always given together. As you can see here, these 3 together with the asterisk, and there's one, most of the ones a B, but forget about it. We're going to talk about these 3. You can see that they're always coming together, always coming together. And also they have the same number of times given, 6 times each. For the MMR vaccines, it has 2 features we can remember. It's given 3 times throughout this period, and it has 3 letters, M, M, and R, so 3 letters given 3 times, that way we can remember it. It also is given from 1 year and after, so it only starts from here and later. Those with the asterisk labels are always present in combination vaccines, and we're going to talk about some of the combination vaccines. So diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis are given together, and beginning of lives till around 18 months, and most of the OZB would be with them, and we're going to see its pattern. All pertussis vaccines except at 6 months are acellular, as you can see here. It's acellular everywhere except at 6 months. For grade 1, it has 2 combination vaccines and 2 individual vaccines. We're going to talk about it when we reach grade 1 as a separate timeline, as its own timeline. And for grade 11, it has 1 combination vaccine and 1 individual vaccine. So starting at birth, BCG and Hepatitis B are given, and only 2 vaccines at birth, and BCG is only given once and not given later. For 2 months, so when we get to know 2 months, we also will know about 4 months. So you can see that there are multiple areas that are highlighted in green. So these are the ones given at this timeline. And you can see that we can remember it as the hexavalent vaccine plus 2 more. The hexavalent vaccine, from its name hexa, means that there are 6 components. So how we can remember it? We can remember that there are 4 components of it that are fixed. So we have multiple combination vaccines. Till 18 months, we're going to have diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, and hemolytic influenza B or HIP. These 4 always present together till 18 months. They're given together, so we can expect that if it was hexavalent, we already know 4 of them. So this gives us 2 remaining. What are these 2 remaining? Hepatitis B and injectable polio vaccine, which is a killed polio. And what are the two remaining? Pneumococcal conjugate vaccine and rotavirus. In this case, because we're giving it twice, it's most likely going to be Rotarix. So if we go to 4 months, it's the same. 6 months, some things are the same, some things differ. You can see we have a combination, but instead of hexa, we have pentavalent. Penta means 5, so we have 5 components, and we can expect that we already know 4 of them. If we repeat them, it's going to be diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, hemolymph influenza B, and we have one more. In this case, it's going to be hepatitis B. So why doesn't have an asterisk here? Because it's the same as at 2 months and 4 months. The reason is because, as we mentioned earlier, it's only given till 6 months of age. After that's not given, and also pneumococcal is also given at 6 months. So that's why it's really easy to remember if we have these 4 and then one more. It will be hopefully easy in terms of recognition and memorizing process. Okay, and we have the 2 individual vaccines as the pneumococcal conjugate vaccine (PCV), and we have the oral polio. The oral polio is actually a live attenuated vaccine of polio, so it is actually a live virus, but it's very weak. But injectable is killed. Will it be possible to give both of them together? Yes, it is possible, because this is the live one, this is the killed one, and both of them will have different pathways of enhancing immunity. They have different ways. Some of them are overlapping, but generally they can be given together, as we're going to see later. So just remember from this slide that we have the pentavalent um, at 6 months, and we can remember that there are 4 components that we know, because these are recurrent and hexavalent and the pentavalent, and also there's another combination which also has the same pattern. It has 4 of these present. And notice that here it's the whole pertussis or the cellular pertussis, the rest would be acellular. So these are the key differences. At 12 months, similar to 1 year, we have 2 vaccines, MMR and varicella. The reason why we mentioned MMR, although it's 3 different diseases, measles, mumps, and rubella, is because they're given together in one as an injection together, not separate. But for the tetanus pertussis, because they're different combinations, that's why we had to separate them, so for the understanding process and inshallah learning process. If we go now to 18 months, 18 months we have also a combination. This time it's called pentaxime. It's because different than the pentavalent, but we can expect that we have 4 components which are the same. If we repeat them, it will be diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, and also it's acellular, unlike the pentavalent, which is cellular. But remember that there is pertussis. What's the 4th one? Hemolymph influenza B. This will be the last one to be given here. And the last one, the 5th one, the missing one, would be the injectable polio vaccine, IPV. And here we said that we're going to give MMR because it's given from 1 year and onwards. And there's also the oral polio vaccine, as we mentioned earlier. It is possible to give both of them together. These are present according to the guidelines. This is also called pentaxime. At grade 1, or in grade 1, we give also a combination of diphtheria and pertussis. This time we don't give hemolymph influenza B. And here we can call them as DTPA or DTaP. The A is for acellular, so you may hear people calling DTaP, or you may find the vaccination cards written or typed as DTPA. The A is for acellular, so we give it at grade 1. And also remember that in grade 1 we mentioned we're going to give 2 combinations and 2 individual. What are these combinations? One of them is DTaP, the other will be MMR, which is the last dose that we're going to give, and then later we're not going to give it. What are the individual? We have the varicella, and it's also going to be the last time we're going to give it, because it's only given twice. This is the second time. The remaining one will be oral polio vaccine. So 2 combinations and 2 individual, so we can remember. Grade 11 would be half of it. So we have 1 combination, DTaP, and also 1 individual, which is the oral polio vaccine. And also, if we revisit the key features, it is similar to what we have seen earlier, but this is just as a quick revision that we've seen that 2 months and 4 months are the same. Varicella is only given twice, and we also talk about the virus that because there's the one which is given twice and given 3 times, which is the Rotarix, Rotatec, respectively. You can see that also pertussis is always acellular, except at 6 months it is whole, and this is why I mentioned that, or the reason why it is only one which is a whole or cellular is because of the side effects. Pertussis vaccine are associated with many side effects, and that's why the acellular will have less side effects, and both of them are potent. The whole or cellular pertussis provides good protection, but because of the side effects, we only give it once. And we also notice that the diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis are given together, and you can see they're following the same pattern. They're always following each other. Influenza B till 18 months. Pneumococcal conjugate vaccine and Hep B are given during the first year of life, so till 6 months. After that, when it's not given as part of the compulsory. It is possible to give the oral polio and the injectable polio. It is possible, and BCG is only given once. So these are some of the things that we mentioned, so it can help us in understanding process of the pattern, because it seems that there's lots of things to know, but if we understand the pattern, to help us also recognize it and also recall it later. And the last slide here is similar to the previous one, but this is a smaller version that we have the DTP together, because we saw that they always come together. So it's better to remember that, okay, if I have diphtheria, I also give tetanus and pertussis, so it says, let's remember it as DTP. Although please note that you may read in other sources, and inshallah you may notice later, inshallah, that there are vaccines which contain only some of them. So you may find some vaccines containing as TD or DT, diphtheria and tetanus only, no pertussis, or containing T and D, capital T and D. So lots of tetanus and small amount of diphtheria in the vaccine. But for the compulsory ones, we only have the DTP, so it's also part of for us to make memorization easier and understanding it. And please note that this here till 18 months, it is not the same as DTaP, which is present here. We just made it here as DTP and adding A and or W to make it easier to remember that this is whole or cellular, this is acellular for the recalling process. Because we know that in the combination vaccine, which is hexavalent, pentavalent, pentaxime, which is till 18 months here, so all of these hexavalent here, pentavalent, pentaxime, DTP is always present there, and our diphtheria and pertussis are always present there. So why not remember it as in this way? So if we have hexavalent, we know there are 6 components. I already know 3 of them will be together. The diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis acellular, and we know till 18 months we also have the influenza B. So I already know 4 out of 6. Or if it was pentaxime or pentavalent, 4 out of 5. So this will make the recalling process easier. So this is just for that sake. But please note, it's not the same as adding DTaP to influenza B, adding it to hepatitis B or injectable polio vaccine. It's not like we're adding the DTaP vaccine to them. These are different components. So the hexavalent contains 6 different components, not containing DTaP and others. It's not that way. It's just for the memorization process or for the learning process for us. I hope this was useful, guys, inshallah, and best of luck to you all.